Welcome back, CMA candidates, to this explainer on technology controls. Look, I totally get it. Studying for the exam can sometimes feel, well, incredibly overwhelming, especially when we start getting bogged down in the weeds of IT terminology. But don't worry, that's exactly why we're here today. As your instructor, I want to make sure we translate all that complex IT jargon into easy-to-digest concepts to help you absolutely crush Part 1, Section E of your exam. You see, as modern management accountants, we don't just deal with numbers on a page anymore. We're dealing with cloud networks, global servers, and massive databases. Understanding how to secure that digital pipeline, it's an absolute must-have skill. And honestly, it's exactly why the examiners emphasize it so heavily. So let's get you those easy points. Okay, let's take a really quick look at our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering the digital bank vault, network and data security, disaster recovery sites, and then we'll wrap things up with a CMA practice scenario so you're completely ready for test day. All right, diving right into Section 1, the digital bank vault, and how we actually go about protecting our digital assets. If you think about a traditional physical bank, the controls are pretty obvious, right? You've got security guards, cameras, those massive, thick steel vault doors. But in today's business landscape, our most valuable assets are completely digital. We're talking about customer credit card numbers, highly proprietary financial forecasts, your company's entire general ledger. Technology controls are basically the digital equivalent of that thick steel bank vault. They're the hardware, the software, and the network protocols designed to keep your data safe. And the ultimate goal of all those controls boils down to what we call the CIA triad. Now, this is a foundational IT security concept that the examiners absolutely love to test. It stands for confidentiality, meaning only authorized people can see the data; integrity, meaning the data hasn't been tampered with or altered; and availability, ensuring the data is actually there when you need it. Every single control we discuss today exists to support this very triad. Let's move right along to our second major bucket of controls, network and data security, which is all about protecting data while it's traveling. You know, when your company's data travels across the open internet, it's incredibly vulnerable to being intercepted by bad actors. To protect it, companies use some vital tools. And the very first one you absolutely need to know is the firewall. Think of the firewall as a digital bouncer standing right at the front door of your company's network. Just like a real bouncer checking IDs at a club, the firewall analyzes all incoming and outgoing network traffic based on a strict set of predetermined security rules. If the traffic looks safe, it gets in. But if the traffic looks even slightly suspicious or malicious, that bouncer blocks it right at the door. It really is your first line of perimeter defense. But let's play out a what-if scenario here. What if a really clever hacker somehow manages to sneak past your firewall? Well, that is exactly where encryption takes over as your ultimate safety net. Encryption is a process that takes perfectly readable data, what we in the biz call plain text, and applies a highly complex mathematical key to it. This completely scrambles the data into an unreadable format known as ciphertext. So, imagine a bad actor breaks into your system and manages to steal your entire financial database. Without the specific decryption key to unlock it, all they're going to see on their screen is absolute useless gibberish. Pretty cool, right? Now, here is an absolutely crucial point for the exam. You have to memorize the difference between the two main types of encryption, symmetric and asymmetric. And here's the easiest way to keep them straight in your head. With symmetric encryption, you use the exact same key to both encrypt and decrypt the data. It's incredibly fast, which is great, but it's also kind of risky because you have to figure out a secure way to share that single key with the receiver without it getting intercepted along the way. Asymmetric encryption completely solves this problem. It uses a pair of keys. There's a public key that literally anyone can use to encrypt the data, and a separate, closely guarded private key that is used only to decrypt it. Because you never ever have to share that private key, asymmetric encryption is highly secure and is actually the gold standard for protecting data on public networks. Next up is Section 3, Disaster Recovery Sites, where we'll talk about preparing for the absolute worst-case scenarios. So we've talked a lot about hackers, but what happens if a hurricane floods your primary data center? Or, I don't know, a massive power surge completely fries all your servers? How do you keep the company running? Well, this falls under business continuity and disaster recovery. And let me tell you, the CMA exam loves testing your understanding of backup recovery sites. Management accountants have to weigh some serious trade-offs here regarding cost, setup time, and hardware. First, we have the cold site. This is literally just an empty room with power and air conditioning. There's no computer hardware, no data. It's the cheapest option by far, sure, but it will take weeks to ship in servers, install software, and actually get operations running again. Next is the warm site, which kind of strikes a balance. It has the physical space and the computer hardware is already set up and ready to go. However, it doesn't have your real-time data loaded yet. It's moderately priced, and you can usually get up and running within hours or maybe days by restoring your latest backups. Finally, the hot site. This is the whole shebang, a complete 24/7 active replica of your primary data center. It has identical hardware, active software, and data that is mirrored in real time. If your main system goes down, you can switch to the hot site in minutes, sometimes even seconds. It's incredibly effective for maintaining continuous operations, but, as you might have guessed, it is by far the most expensive option. So for the exam, just lock this away. Cold means empty. Warm means hardware. Hot means real-time mirror. All right, let's bring it all together with Section 4, a CMA practice scenario to really test your knowledge. I want you to listen to this mock exam question with me and really put yourself in the shoes of the management accountant making this critical decision. Here's the scenario. A multinational bank requires that its transaction processing systems experience near-zero downtime and zero data loss in the event of a localized natural disaster. Which disaster recovery option should the bank implement? Is it A, a cold site, B, a warm site, C, a hot site, or D, an incremental backup plan? Take just a second and lock in your answer. Okay, whenever you tackle a multiple choice question on the exam, you always want to hunt for the qualifiers. By breaking down the keywords in this prompt, specifically near zero downtime and zero data loss, and eliminating the wrong answers one by one, the solution practically reveals itself. We just learned that a cold site takes weeks to set up, so that completely violates near zero downtime, right? We also know a warm site takes hours or days and relies on past backups, which means there will be at least some data lost since the very last backup occurred. So scratch that, B is out. By process of elimination, it becomes absolutely obvious that only a hot site, which acts as a real-time mirror of your data and hardware, can provide that instantaneous, seamless transition the bank requires. So if you picked C, hot site, you are absolutely correct. Great job. You are doing an amazing job working through these technical IT concepts. Just remember the core pillars we covered today. Firewalls are your digital bouncers keeping the bad guys out. Encryption scrambles your data into unreadable 6 text to keep it safe even if it does get intercepted. And your choice between a hot, warm, or cold site dictates exactly how fast and at what cost your business can bounce back after a catastrophic disaster. Keep up the great momentum with your studies. But before you go, I want to leave you with a crucial question to ponder. If a natural disaster were to completely wipe out your own organization's primary servers today, do you actually know which type of recovery site your company relies on? And more importantly, are you truly prepared for the fallout? Think about it. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next explainer.